I wanted to do a video that links in the zones of regulation to the book called Breathing Makes It Better. So in this book, it talks about how breathing properly will help calm your nervous system and make you feel better inside. So it talks about how we are all alive and we all have different feelings, and it acknowledges each of those feelings of happiness and silly, joyful and calm. And it will go through a scenario of how a little girl has a morning that she feels really sad inside because her toy has broken. So you would kind of stop at this point, and you could get the therapeutic treasure deck, which I really like. And you would go through and go, do you remember when you had something that was broken? How did you feel? And go through, did you feel embarrassed? Maybe. There's no right and wrong with this. If a child sort of says to you that they did feel embarrassed, that's fine. Accept that. Helpless, yep. Shocked, probably. Scared. Frustrated, maybe. Upset. Jealous, maybe not. Relaxed, no. Trapped, no. So you go through and you would focus on what that feels like. Again, it's linking in a scenario and what the child would feel like inside, and then naming those emotions. I would then link it to the zones. So these would be up around the setting, and you would then sort of say to the children, can you show me, can you point to what this little girl is feeling like now? And they should go to the blue. It doesn't matter if they go to the red. They shouldn't go to the green, ultimately. You'd need to work a little bit more on what each of them mean if they go to happiness. So you would look at the blue, and the child might say, because she's sad, she looks really sad and crying and sad inside. Okay, so how does she help herself? And it talks about she stops and takes a breath. Now, how can we help ourselves to take this kind of breath? So you could bring in sort of tools like this. So you would teach the children how to breathe in slowly and expand this, like they expand their belly. These are belly breaths, not chest breaths. Breathe in and slowly breathe out. Children are going to do this because they're children. We just have to look at how to give them the skill, how to stop and take a breath. So this is about going nice and slowly, breathing from your belly. If they lie down to do it, that's great. If they put something on their belly that makes it rise and fall, perfect. You might have a situation that you use bubbles to show how you do really slow breaths, so the bubble doesn't pop. Wow, that's a good one. And, model to them, co-regulate with them. You do one, they do one. It's that kind of scenario. And you would then link in the sort of zones again with the star breathing that is nice and easy. So these are things that you can apply when they're not in the setting. So they're outside, something might have happened. One of their toys have broken outside in the playground or in the play park, and you just remind them, right, let's stop, let's take a breath. We can do our star breathing. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Do remember to breathe from your belly. This will help you. I know you're sad, I know you're blue, but this will help. So this is all about helping the child through breathing. So the story goes on to talk about how that she might be sad, but she then looks at how the sun is nice and warm and bright, and how she continues to do her breathing and it recognises the things around her. So this is what the book's trying to guide them to do is to look at meditation through seeing what's around them. So this might be when they do their breathing and they're nice and calm, right? Can they see 5 things in the room that are yellow? Nice, happy colour. No, something like that. Something very basic, but it's about being grounded again. It's about being within their body and recognising what's around them. There are different scenarios in the book. So this is about a little boy who feels sick inside because there are troubles lurking, and how he takes a breath. And again, he does his breathing, then he starts to recognise what's around him. You can do mindfulness where you're listening, when you are nice and calm and you've done your breathing, and then you can just have little instruments playing that you've got behind your back, a little bell, and can they hear that little bell? And then there's a bird, and then there's the tree. Again, it's about bringing them back into their body, recognising what's around them, being mindful about what's around them. So what I like about the book is it's really inclusive, and it talks about lots of different scenarios, about how it feels strange and lonely, and your chest feels tight and closed when you are anxious and things feel different, and how you can breathe. When things are unfair and it's not in your control and you feel angry and your face feels hot. With each of these, it's about you go through the story, you stop at one particular point, you then bring in the zones of regulation, because he's not feeling blue, he's feeling very angry. Yeah, he's mad. He might be scared. I mean, he's not in control, is he? We don't know the why, but we know how it feels. And we need to sort of guide the children to link those other words. What would make him feel angry and unfair when he's lost? Energetic, surprised, lonely, confident. Go through them. Might be hurt. He might feel trapped because he can't do what he wants to do. He might feel jealous because somebody's got something he wants. Identify the words, link it to the zones, and then link it to breathing. So this tool is about mindful breathing, breathing through different pieces of equipment, or breathing through things that you walk around with, so your hands. Sort of making sure that the child feels grounded. Take their shoes off, do it outside, let them feel the grass underneath their feet. Get them to hold a stone when they're doing their breathing. How does it feel in their hands? There's lots of lovely activities that you can do with mindfulness, but this one in particular focuses on the breath. So it goes through, like I say, lots of scenarios. It's a really lovely book. It goes through different examples and what it can be like. You've got darkness and what she does, and how we have to recognise that all emotions are okay. And that's, really important that children know that it's okay. Yes, everybody feels angry at some point, and that there's no shame in that. And it's not about going in a corner and sitting on the chair on their own and calming down. This is about how can I help the children in my care to not only recognise the emotion and know that it's not shameful, but how can I help them to use breathing and mindfulness to regulate their nervous system, because they're scared. And it's my job as an adult to make them feel safe. And this is one tool. Okay, I hope you like it. All right, thank you.